right, 15 minutes past the hour. JKLive, powered by Johnny Walker, exhibiting its eminence and electrifying quality and celebrating 200 years of blended Scotch excellence. Welcome back. We are live in the studio. Ladies, to put some sanity in this whole madness that surrounds us, Mwaura, woman rep. Sabina Shega is in the house, as is Wasingishu, woman rep. Gladys Boss. How many minutes late are we?
70 minutes.
No, we said 9:30, right?
Yeah, it was 9:30. The poster says 9.
Ouch. I said from 9. All right.
And I'm way past my bedtime.
At least the ads are good.
Yes.
All right, ladies. Look, what's going on? Have the inmates taken over the asylum? Boss, tell us, what's going on?
No, I think what's happening in the country is we are seeing a party, our party, that has become extremely intolerant. It has become a dictatorship that if you have a divergent view, then they will not tolerate it, and they will de-whip you and remove you from party leadership.
I'm glad you said your party, because it is your party. You're both in the same party. Are you still, Mheshimiwa, are you guys still in the same party?
Yes, we're in Jubilee.
What went wrong?
Well, I really can't tell, because last parliament, I had an advantage of serving last parliament, where the people were defiant. They were never de-whipped. And I think it's because they did so with a lot of respect. And what we have seen, it was about to happen. And I think some of our members have really pushed for this to happen. You know, when somebody stands and say, bring it on, baby, bring it on. You're not remorseful, there's that I don't care attitude. And I think why this is happening is because we're going on a transition government. And the party leader is meant not to be the next president, so people have now dropped their guards. They no longer feel like they need to respect him. And so it has gone bare knuckle. But even as a family, when you're in a family, whether you have a very bad dad, you can't be the children who are shouting at the gate, on the street and saying our dad is like this. You sit as a family and talk and reason together. And I think that's what our party need to do. Yeah, but what we have done is that we have allowed other people to infiltrate the party. We have allowed even ourselves just to say anything that we would wish to say at whatever point.
What do you mean by other people? What other people?
I think it's interests. And that's why I want to say other people, interest of what would happen after 2022, because all this drama that is happening is not because of what is currently happening. These are interests for 2022. And we failed to know that we had an agenda that we have to complete before 2022. And I think we have put a lot of personalities instead of the people's interest, but personalities' interest. So I want to impress candidate A or B, and in so doing, I would go to an extra mile to, discredit the other person or to really praise my candidate. And I think that's when we dropped the guards and we decided now to follow different paths. Despite that we are in the same political party, we were all elected. Like in my county, I think we were 6 of us from the MCA all the way to the presidency. We were all as a team. Between 2013 and 2017, my work was very easy. There's no day that I walked in Parliament and a person that I belong to the same political party would not say hi to me or would look the other side.
But
where it has reached, you even say hi to somebody and you're like, ouch, I don't know what I did to both.
Boss, let me ask you this. Was it unfair to de-whip Irungu Kangata and suspend the other senators? Was it unfair?
Yes, yes, I think it's unfair. I think what Irungu Kangata did by writing to the head of state was simply to tell him what the views of the people are on the ground, which I think is a very respectful thing to do. Because I cannot imagine a situation where if you respect your party leader, then it is your responsibility to tell him what the views of the people who elected him is. And so that's all Irungu Kangata did. But it just shows you that we have a party leader who is so intolerant and such a dictator that does not want to hear any other person's view. It's either his way or the highway, which is really a very sad situation to be. Because I believe when you're the head of state, you're at a level where it is okay for people to criticize you. There's nothing wrong with that. And we get criticized every day.
What Senator Isaac Mwaura or Senator Omanga was doing, was that criticizing or was that disrespect? Just explain to me.
I think what are they being accused of? I think Isaac Mwaura is being accused of supporting another party. But remember that this rule was started by the head of state himself. when he went to Kibra and decided to campaign for an ODM candidate.
But he didn't.
He did. He was in Kibra.
No.
So was Minor Commander. So was, I think, Gujiri, the Nyeri MP, and so on. So the bad manners of supporting other candidates started with our party leader. Our party leader, in fact, also supported in Musambweni. He supported another, an ODM candidate. Yeah. He has, in fact, it is very shocking that a ruling party that has a majority in parliament has collapsed to the level that they have to reach out to the minority party to be able to help them push agendas in parliament.
Yeah.
So it's just a sad situation. It's never happened in the history of Kenya.
I think it's good we speak facts, because when we had a candidate in Kibra, the head of state actually welcomed him at the State House. And he was there and he supported him. He never went to Kibra even a single day to campaign for ODM candidates. So it's good to be clear. In Musambweni, we didn't have a candidate of Jubilee.
But did we have Jubilee members in Kibra campaining? And Waiguru?
I don't know.
Minor Commander,
you talked about the head of state, and that's why I was saying no. It was not the head of state. He actually never went. And if you remember when we were doing the BBI launch, he actually joked about it and said we had a candidate in Kibra, but we lost. But he said the beauty of it this time is even when Jubilee lost, nobody got hurt. The Mamamboga, the Kibra people, the following day they were celebrating, and he actually gave a joke of a lady who called him and said he campaigning Gendelea. You know, why was it so short? But the other times when there were elections in Kibra, then after the election, whichever way it went, then people would fight. And when he was speaking about it at the BBI launch, he said, you know, why we were looking for the handshake is for these people to actually be peaceful and coexist and live together. At Musambweni, we didn't have a candidate, Jubilee candidate. And I think what happened is a candidate who was taken to State House to say hi to the head of state. He never went to campaign for anybody from another party. And what you ask about Kangata, I am from Mwaura County. Kangata gave his views, not the views of Mwaura County people. It's very clear.
He said he's gotten views from the ground.
I don't, when you say you talked about to 10 people, I don't know which people. And even when we challenged him, I met him on the ground and he said, can you please explain to the people what your letter was all about? He couldn't. He said no comment. But secondly, and most important, is that Kangata was not suspended for writing the letter to the head of state. Kangata was removed from the position because of his conduct. There's no way you can write a letter to the head of state and then leak it to the media, you know, if you meant well. And that's why I said we have now looked at the personal interest. We have gone beyond what is good even for the party. And at his position as a whip, you know, the majority whip at the Senate, there's a way the conduct, you know, he's supposed to conduct himself. Kangata himself invited the president for his wedding. I don't think he wrote any letter through the media to invite him. When I got to his home place, I found the president was earlier than me. He actually arrived in Kangata's wedding the area before I got there. So these are people who speak. But what happens when you start having your personal interest, you want to portray to the people that I tried. I think Kangata was just trying to look for an exit. And he actually, you saw the people who were supporting him yesterday.
Exit to join Tanga Tanga?
It seems so. And then he didn't know how to do it. And he had a responsibility. You know, at the Senate, he had a responsibility. And so as a person who was now in charge of the whip, I think he just needed to get out. But he actually used a back door and an excuse of a letter so that then he can be told he was whipped. And I read what the Raphael Tuju wrote yesterday. And it was clear Kangata was not suspended or not removed from position because of the letter. He was removed from the position because of his conduct, the way he has been carrying himself. And I think one of the people, and it was amazing yesterday to see his number one supporter was Murkomen. And the time Kangata was put in that position, I don't want to repeat the words that he said and tweeted, and you saw them, what he said about Kangata. But now, because now it's they seem to be now on the same side, he was there saying Kangata no and everything else. But I think let us be sober. Jeff, you have one more year to go. This is our country. And so it is important. Even in a family, you would not wait and watch your children disrespect you. I have seen it. People are going in funerals with cameras, so that they can cause mayhem, they can come with people to cheer them up, and then they record and circulate. For who benefit? You know, it is really sad where we have gotten ourselves into, and I hope, and I said, I hope we can sit as a party and reason together, because the way we are headed, it's not on the right direction.
Boss, is it too late to salvage this party?
I think it's too late. It looks like it is too late, because I think they will, at any one time in any politics, people don't always agree people always have different views. And one of the tenets of democracy is that we should be able to tolerate other people's views. I think a letter leaking to the press, a lot of documents leak, but that isn't usually a ground for somebody's removal. I don't think that Kangata was disrespectful at all in the way that he has conducted himself. I think what the biggest problem we have at the moment is that he just did not agree with the views of our party leader. We have seen, and this has started from the beginning. Remember, first of all, people were removed from leadership in the House because they had divergent views, myself included. And then after that, if you did not toe the line and agree with BBI, you will be removed from any political leadership positions. You've seen the threats on the current nominated members. You don't toe the line and don't agree with the head of state or agree on the BBI process, then you're going to be, your nomination will be withdrawn from the party. So
you're saying this is more dictatorship? Is that what you're alluding? It is a dictatorship.
It is a dictatorship.
You disagree?
I don't think it's dictatorship.
It's a dictatorship. I do not see why people should not tolerate other people. And I think, Sabina, yourself, you know this, that even in the previous parliament, people did not necessarily agree.
That's true.
Even when they were in one political party.
That's true. But
that was never a reason for people to be de-whipped. This is the only time we have seen that people are being de-whipped for not agreeing with a certain position that is required of them.
They should, Jeff,
and then I think there is something that Sabina keeps repeating, that we should not disrespect the president. Actually, are you saying the president is so fragile that he can't take a little criticism? You know, I mean, he should be stronger than that. I mean, if he is going to be taking on everybody for criticizing him or not agreeing with him, then I think he should look at the social media. The social media is awash with so much criticism of the head of state that if he is so fragile, then I don't know what he's going to do if he looks at the social media. So I think at a leadership position, you should be above all that.
Our president is above all that, and he has even taken time.
No, he's very petty.
They have actually dared him. You see, when you come into a national TV and say your president is petty.
It is petty what he did.
Is that respect?
That's a fact.
Even in a family. You know, even the Bible tells us, spare the rod and spoil the child. And that's what he did. He actually spoiled all of us. The first from 2013 to 2017. At least even the people who disagreed, not only with even the president, even with the deputy president, who saw Kina Sudi and Kina Ketel when they could not agree and they went out. But even as they criticized, they did it with a lot of respect. This time, people have gone out, bare knuckle, you know, daredevil. So mutadu, and that's the attitude now. But we must continue as a party. We have 1.5 years to go. We must finish on our mandate. So all these side shows that came up, that people now are going for funerals instead of going to mourn with the people who have lost their loved one. It's a shame, Jeff.
Yeah.
You find the family saying, we plead with you, kindly, no politics, jump mourn with us. If you just came, I have lost a mother. And when we did the funeral, the politicians, very few spoke, because we said this is a family. I'm the only family member who is a politician. And the rest of my brothers and sisters might not understand. And I am glad at that point, the people who came, they honored the family.
And when you
right now, the families are begging.
When you see Arati and Osoro going at each other, or today, Wiper leader, Kalonzo Musyoka and Senator Muthama, former Senator Muthama. Do you see what's happening? You know,
I thought it was only the young ones, because I thought they were excited. Now they are getting near the power and the succession. But now when I saw it with the Honorable Kalonzo and Muthama, it shows the level of intolerance. We can't tolerate each other. It's either my way or the highway, and I think that's where we have got it. And it's a very dangerous situation. And looking at the history of this country, where we have come from, we should actually now think twice. We should start forgetting about myself or my candidate, but think about the nation first. Think about the children. So we are called honorable members.
Sabina, you're now talking about, you're saying about tolerance. I was just telling you what has been happening in Jubilee is intolerance. And now you're also talking about that intolerance is wrong.
I'm talking about it. It is wrong. But as I said, because we're in one party, why can't we sit and talk about this?
And why can't you?
And if you feel that the party that you belong to is full of dictatorship, or you don't feel comfortable with it, you have now no respect and you feel your party leader is petty, then the best thing to do is step out. I have seen people out there, they have worn other political parties' outfits, they have branded themselves, they have taken photos. We know with no disregard of the political party, and it's clear on our constitution. It is clear even within the political party act on how you should behave. If you declare support of another political party, then you should actually leave that party. And I think Jubilee Party has been very lenient to its members. They have been very lenient to its members. And I think it's the high time now people start looking at it and towing the line. Because if you have to finish together, if we are not separating, because if you have to separate, you should separate now. If you have to finish this race together, we need to sit down and rethink again and ask ourselves, what are we doing as a Jubilee Party? How will we leave our country? We are role models. When we go fighting in funerals and their children, when we go talking unprintable words, I see members, there are some members of our colleagues who they are known, even by the time they stand, that the words that will come out of the mouth, you know, and their children. I actually ask myself, do they themselves are their own children? Because they watch the social media within 2 minutes circulating. Yeah. We need to do self-searching and ask ourselves, what are we doing to this nation? Kenya is a beautiful country.
Absolutely, and we're destroying
myself and Sholei, we have been together. This notebook I carried today, she's the one who bought it for me as a gift. Why would it be that tomorrow when I meet her, because of the 2022, that she will not say hi to me or not say hi to her? Why did the Kibaki and Jenga Karume and the rest, they were able to work together? Mzee Moi, and you look at the Wazels, they stuck together because apart from them having a political interest, they even did business together. Their families were, you know, so tied up. There was that connection. But nowadays, you get into that parliament, it's about me and what I'll get. And at the end of the day, I don't care about Sholei, I don't care about her feelings. We're also human beings. There are things I would say about her today that will hurt her and her children. Why should I not think about that first? And I think we have lost it, and we need to actually come back to our senses and reason together.
Boss, and it's not your decision here, but why not walk away as you know, as Tanga? And there's something called UDA.
You see, the thing is, a party doesn't belong to an individual. A party belongs to the members of the party and the people who elected me. So it is not for anyone to tell me that you should leave Jubilee. I will leave Jubilee when the people of Uasin Gishu County say so. Yeah, and there is nothing wrong with associating or having coalitions with other parties. It is allowed within our Political Parties Act. So I think also the feeling that that people begin to think that they own a party and that they run it like their family kiosk, that is wrong. The party belongs to the people who elected them. So Jubilee does not belong to individuals. It belongs to the people who are Jubilee members, who are citizens of Kenya.
Unfortunately.
And so I think it's not anybody's place to say we should leave. In fact, today I had, I think I watched a video where the head of state said that I will hand over the country. I will not hand over the country to thieves or something like that. Again, that is where people go wrong. It is not for him to hand over the country to anybody. It is the people of Kenya who vote and decide who the country will be handed over to. It is not, and as I'm saying, the whole hubris of thinking that they own the party, they own the country, it's for them to decide who becomes the next president. No, that power lies with the people of Kenya.
And we can't ignore, and I said, unfortunately, our political parties are owned by individuals. Unfortunately. We are not like the US where we have either you are a Democrat or you are Republican. And that's why even now, if you ask both which political party she will vie 2022, she might not be very sure because we never know. 2013, we started with TNA. 2017, I found myself in Jubilee. And just slightly before 2013, there was PNU. And there was total confusion. I think TNA came the last minute. And why ourselves as politicians, when we are doing our campaigns, we normally have our poster, but we have the person, you know, the head of the political party, you know, almost looking like our boyfriend there at the side. You don't have your poster without the person you're supporting. That means political parties are associated with individuals. And let's speak the truth. 202, it took Raila and a few people to say, yote yawezekana bila Moi, they said they supported Kibaki, all of them. And Kenyans follow individuals. So you cannot wish away. And I'm not saying the president will actually dictate, people will decide. But every other strong leadership, whether it's from the Rift Valley, whether it's from the coast, people will come, because that's why you're a leader, people, you have your followers, people will come and seek for advice. They might not take it 100%, but they'll come and ask you which way forward. It has happened before. It's going to happen even on 2022. So let us not burn the bridges.
Yeah,
and let us not bite the hand that fed us. And on the nominated members, you know, when you are nominated by a political party, and not people, an individual in that political party decided, I am going to nominate Jeff, not Boss Cholet. And then you come, at the same time, you come and abuse the same person who nominated you. You come and decide now they are dynasties. When you're being nominated, you didn't notice the dynasties were nominating you. But when you're already in and enjoying the benefits, then you start calling people dynasties. You know, it's really unfair. And some of these people have benefited from the same people they are abusing today. Why do we forget so fast?
Go on.
And you see, that's exactly where you go wrong when you say that the people who nominated you. Remember, for someone to get a nomination, it's actually those of us who vied and got votes so that the party was able to have sufficient number of seats to be able to nominate people.
Not all of them vied.
So you cannot credit the nomination to an individual. You credit the nomination to a party and those people who went and campaigned for that party. That is, and that's what I'm saying. There is such personalization at the moment from everything that Sabina is saying. You're personalizing parties. You're personalizing like somebody owes allegiance to an individual, forgetting that it's those millions of Kenyans who voted that made it possible for that person to be nominated. When you talk about a nomination for Isaac Mwaura is representing people with disabilities. So he represents a larger population in Kenya. And that position is provided for in the Constitution. So it is not that he was rewarded by an individual.
He was unfortunately, he was rewarded by ODM. He came to Jubilee, he was rewarded. Is he the only person who can represent the people with disability in this nation? There are several others who are qualified.
It's the political parties that decide when they are preparing their nomination list.
So who decides that political party? Because we as members of political parties were not asked whether Isaac Mwaura should be nominated or not. They are individuals who sat down and decided.
No, people also lobby. If you look at Isaac Mwaura, has had a very long history of working with people with disabilities. He's been one of the biggest champions, and therefore he has a certain status within that community. Yeah. He's not the only one, but the people that he represents, many people lobbied. So, and if there was any objection, let the community that he represents then take issue with it. But it can't be you taking an issue with it.
Okay, a moment ago we talked about Irungu Kangata being due, right? Mm-hmm. So, when former House Majority Leader, Senate Majority Leader rather, Kipchumba Murkomen, when he was removed, who was spearheading that whole movement? Irungu Kangata.
Yeah, I can't.
And now, yesterday,
I just know that it was that decision was actually made. Remember, they were called to State House by the head of state, and actually.
But who was spearheading that movement there? And yesterday, I mean, what is it with our politics? What I'm trying to say is, there's no such thing as permanent enemies.
Yeah, not based on any principles.
I think people make decisions according to the facts at the moment. I think if you see what people are when you see somebody like Murkomen supporting Kangata, it's because he can see that he does not agree. It is the principle that he doesn't agree with. It's not necessarily the individual.
You agree? The principle?
No, it's personal interest.
Whenever I've had many times, and I think I've been consistent on this issue, whenever something is being done without due process or something that is unjust, I've always stood and said it is the principle. I am standing by the rule of law and what is fair and just.
Unfortunately, majority of the politicians nowadays are about their personal interests. It's not about principles. And that's why we have political parties each and every year, electioning year, we have a new political party. Because they are not based on anything. After the election, that is just a bus that was used to take people to power. Then after that, it's lost. Then we start now looking for other theories that will sell quickly. We start telling people about wheelbarrows or whatever, so that now we know this one will also now get us majority again to have us, to follow us. But basically looking at the principles, looking at what the political party believes in, there's nothing much. That's why we have too many political parties. I would wake up today and decide I also want my own small political party. And like the developed states, like the US, where you're either a Democrat or Republican. And people believe in it such that they would even vote for individuals who they do not know, but they will vote for them because they're in that specific political party. I think we need to mature up at the level we are now as a country. We need to start being principled.
The US is a 200-year-old democracy.
It's okay.
So I think you're not comparing.
It might be 200 years old, but what we have now with the technology and everything now is a global village.
Ladies, let's hope
we are able to learn very fast.
Let's hope we don't wait 200 years for us to mature. Huh?
No, but
we cannot wait.
I don't plan to be around that long.
And that's why we cannot take back people to the wheelbarrows. That is another.
All right, let me take a break. Let me take a break. Come back. I want to ask you, boss, what's your problem with BBI? What's your biggest problem? No. Think about it. Goodness, this nation, why are we tearing it up? Are we going back to 07, 08? Ladies, come on, let's get some sanity here. We can't be in constant campaign mode in this country. What do you think? Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JKLive. Tweets coming in thick and fast. We'll read them after the break. Back in a moment.
You're watching JKL, powered by Johnny Walker, celebrating 200 years of the path less traveled.